to another episode of the Nerdosophical podcast. I'm Methuselah.
I'm Casey.
I'm Braden.
And today we have a special guest, another Tyler, but this one has a soul.
I'm very much less ginger.
Yes. As in, not at all ginger.
Not at all ginger.
You know what I found funny? Is Tyler dresses up as Wolverine for Halloween.
Yes.
Ginger
And
Tyler.
tries to, yes, Ginger Tyler.
Yes.
Tries to dress up as Wolverine and hide his gingerness, but even through his costume, his gingerness.
Oh yes. It shines through. It's ever
Can't hide the
present.
ginger.
That's a
Well, being so pale is kind of hard to hide.
Yes. This is true. His lack of tan is hard to disguise. Yes, we will miss him tonight and Sam, but we will forge through without them.
They had bigger and better things to do, I guess.
Yes. But tonight, if you don't remember, we'll be talking about some key moments from episode 4, A New Hope. We're getting close to the Force Awakens. It's 41 days to go.
I think it's going up from here with the next 3 films.
Oh yes. It's all awesome from here on out. So we will just jump right into it.
Century Fox.
Yes, I did. I just started with the title sequence. Even though they changed it, this Lucasfilm logo is just iconic.
Yeah.
What it must have been like to see that in the theater for the first time.
And of course, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Just,
The whole space opera, as it's called, begins.
it would have been just mind-blowing to see this.
I
in
can't believe
theater,
what it would have
I
been like in '77 to have, be watching Star Wars and not realize today in 2015 how big
But it was,
it is. Because think of everything that Star Wars has a market in. It's crazy.
it is pretty
I
nuts.
saw they were Nixon watches from that to CoverGirl has Star Wars makeup now to
Oh, yes.
I mean it's just it's an empire for lack of a better well Disney's I'd say it's
Yeah,
an
it's just
empire.
gonna get bigger with Disney.
Yeah.
Is CoverGirl's makeup just like white paste so you could do the Padme?
I don't know.
O'Neill
I think they had a couple different
and some black
Some
dots.
variation.
understandably I didn't take too close a look at it because I can't really
Are you sure you didn't?
pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
But no, it's crazy thinking how big Star Wars is. And I just sitting in a theater in '77, I could have
Yeah.
never imagined.
Just to see.
Well, imagine being one of the actors and being like, holy cow,
This thing is huge.
this is the biggest cult following ever, that it's not even a cult anymore.
Yes.
It really is.
It's just general fandom for everyone.
I think it's the widest or most encompassing fan base. Like I think it just, whether you're our parents' age or you're, even like our children. I mean, it's crazy.
You mean like generationally?
Yeah, generationally, yeah.
It spans many generations for sure.
Star Trek would be up there with it.
Yeah.
I don't think on the same level, but it's up there.
It's got a big following too. For sure.
It's older.
And they've done
yes.
a great job keeping Star Trek fresh and more modern, I think, with the new reboot with J.J. Abrams. And I think they saw the success ultimately Lucasfilm with his films, Star Trek, and it's ultimately why he got the role for episode 7.
Sure.
Yeah, it definitely had a big part in it, I'm sure. They're coming out with the new Star Wars, or the Star Trek web series in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
I had to mark this beginning part too. It's the first time you see Vader come on screen.
He's
Yeah.
like the third or fourth interesting character you see. 'Cause you see R2-D2, Leia, C-3PO, and then it's Vader.
All
It
these
just
dudes
shows
in
how
helmets.
important he is as a character.
Yeah.
He's one of the first you see.
Oh yeah.
The series almost revolves around Luke, but you don't even see him for the first 5-10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
You really don't.
Yeah.
No, I love Darth Vader. I mean, it's probably such a generic, bland thing to say. I mean, everyone loves Darth Vader, but you can see just,
It's an iconic villain.
yeah, he is. And you just, as like a 5-year-old watching the films, you're like, oh, it's evil. Look at what he's doing to the princess. Look, you know, what happens to her planet and Grand Moff Tarkin and being a jerk. And you never realize, or I didn't, it took me years to realize that, wow, Vader actually is, in the end, the protagonist. Like, he is, you know, we'll get to Return of the Jedi, but
Yes. We'll get there.
the next scene with the they're not Tomb Raiders, wow.
Jawas.
The Jawas.
The Jawas.
Yes. I had to mark this just because it shows that some of Anakin's whininess came through genetically as Luke utters the line, "But I wanted to go in town with my friends to pick up American Burger."
It's terrible how he starts off.
He's such a whiner in the beginning.
I
It's
saw-
so awesome.
I saw a video, it was a compilation of all of Luke's whiny scenes. There's-
It's gotta be just about as many as Anakin. Cause
He does, but yeah, I think it's just as many, but it's,
There's a pretty good amount, although most of them would be contained into like this one movie. He's a lot less whiny as these movies go on.
It's kind of funny. You can see on some of the Jawas that they're just wearing a ski mask.
Yes.
Until
Yeah.
it gets close, then
That's
they're
all.
actually worried about the detail.
Hey,
you
they
can
had to
see
make do.
people's face, their eyes sticking out. It's like, that's terrible.
Yes.
they had to make do with what they had back in the day.
It's the 70s. Not a very high budget.
They're still one of my favorite species.
Yeah.
Because they're so intriguing.
Yes, they're awesome. And they speak Thai.
Exactly.
So here's where Luke is cleaning up R2 after buying him from the Jawas, I should say. And
3PO tells him about the Clone Wars.
yeah, I thought it was really interesting that even like you see with Ben Kenobi, he mentions the actual term the Clone Wars too.
Mhm.
And I remember watching interviews with Lucas, and I think it's awesome that he had it all planned out exactly how, you know, the Clone Wars, like what would that entail? He had it all.
He's
In
really
his
good at
minds.
laying out stories and
Yeah.
creating the world. He's just not great at screenplay writing.
No, I agree.
Dialogue is not his strong point.
The only reason why these are good is because he actually took feedback from people, because he wasn't like a hot shot yet. So he listened to people and they kind of reined in some of his craziness. But in the prequels, he just got to let loose, and it didn't turn out all that well. Not compared to these. I mean, these are way older, yet they still hold up better than the prequels as like an overall cinematic achievement.
And even some of the dialogue in these older movies
Oh,
is kind of bad,
Oh, yeah.
some of it, but it fits in that time. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's how dialogue was written in movies in this day. So
It's
it
not
doesn't
that abnormal.
it doesn't bother me.
No.
But even with that,
Yeah.
the majority of the dialogue is still better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
Specifically
considering-
Han Solo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Han's amazing.
He's so natural and funny, and it's not dorky, it's not corny.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Yeah.
It's just good.
It's just good.
Yeah, his whole relationship with Carrie Fisher is just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
It's pretty fun stuff.
great.
Yeah.
No, the next scene I was just mentioning to Methuselah here, how Luke just gets knocked out cold by the Tusken Raiders, and Obi-Wan rides to the rescue, and the Blu-ray edition adds the horrible screeching sound of his. I don't even know what it is.
I don't know. I can't wait till Disney releases the
When he
other
spears off the
Blu-rays.
Tuskens?
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
heard that noise watching it today, and it didn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
like
the same.
What did he do in the old one?
the old one. It was like it sounded like a siren, like a police siren almost. And this
Kinda.
one sounds like it's terrible.
It's like a whining
Yeah.
rather than like a screech. Because he tried to make like an animal almost screech.
Yeah,
But
that was
this
a terrible.
one, it's just sounds like a high pitched whine.
Huh.
It's bad. I can't wait till Disney releases the original Blu-ray. So they're making the original cut into Blu-ray with no alterations other than like upgrading some of the special effects and stuff, but they're not putting in any of the other changes that
Is
were
it gonna
made.
have Han fireman first?
Oh yes.
Alright.
And if it doesn't, I will riot.
I was gonna
Hear
say, if
me
you want to win the
now,
hearts
Disney.
of Star Wars fans,
I won't let it happen again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I riot.
you just get the shame on me.
No, I don't mess with that. Not when it comes to Star Wars. There's no messing around.
It's a pretty serious sin.
No. I'll have plenty of people joining me, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, you won't have to worry about having people agree with you on that one.
No. And the first time we see a lightsaber. And
So, isn't it right? Yeah, okay, you do. You see the lightsaber for the first time.
Mhm.
But then they also talk about how R2 used to belong to Obi-Wan. But Obi-Wan says, I don't have any recollection.
Of owning a droid. Yeah.
What do they do to explain that? What's the rationale?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what period of time he would have actually owned them. It couldn't have been a substantial amount of time because Anakin had R2 like all throughout the Clone Wars, and Ben doesn't bring him when he goes into exile. So
No.
it would have been a pretty short period of time that he would have ever owned them. But I don't know if he was just saying that
He
to
had R3
He could've just-
or something like that.
yeah.
R4.
He had R4.
Yeah.
He might have just been saying that to keep up his facade. So
That's what I was
I
gonna
can't
say.
imagine that he actually doesn't recognize both the droids. I mean, especially with C-3PO.
Yeah, you'd have
There's
to
not that
recognize-
many golden protocol droids out there.
Right.
And
No.
You don't ever see another one with that bright gold finish. They're
Yeah.
either like a silver or like a more like a rusted, like a bronze, but that bright gold of C-3PO is not seen very
think he-
often.
Didn't want to lead Luke too much on, I guess, because, like you said, he wasn't super right with Luke to begin with, saying his father was killed, when
He didn't tell Luke anything.
No.
he really just kind of,
That's true.
skated around the
Yeah,
That's
subject.
true. You could just say he was basically lying.
I think it was all just, it was a ruse. It was all a ruse. Because I'm thinking his plan for revealing stuff to Luke was probably cut short by Vader killing him. I mean, he planned that in the moment, but I don't think that was his original plan to
Yeah.
die that early on.
I don't think he planned on Alderaan being blown to smithereens either.
No, I'm sure no one.
That's where he was going to begin his
Sure, that's
training
what-
formally, right?
I
The
don't.
last thing everybody was thinking, like, oh, they're gonna blow up a planet today.
That was the first time the Death Star had been tested out.
Yeah, that
right?
was the first time it was fired, which is interesting because that's something that it talks about in great detail in the Lost Stars book that I read a month or so ago,
Oh yeah.
and it was interesting to read it because you're reading it from the perspective of two Imperials at that point in the story, and you get to see how completely appalled and flabbergasted a lot of them were at what had have been done. Like, they didn't see it happening, and a lot of them didn't agree with it either.
Yeah.
They weren't, like, all on board with killing millions of people. Like, it was something that just the Grand Moff decided to do, and then he just did it.
Sure.
Nobody argues with Tarkin.
No.
Not even Vader.
Especially not Tarkin. There's other Grand Moffs you may argue with, but Tarkin is the BA of Grand Moffs. If you want to know more, you should read the Tarkin novel, because it's fantastic.
This is a pretty interesting backstory.
Yeah, it talks about his whole backstory with Vader, and it's pretty interesting.
Is this the new canon?
It was released before, like, the whole Journey to the Force Awakens books, but they've said that it's considered canon.
I think it's still got the Disney
Yeah, I
sign
think
on it, so
I think
it
it
was
does.
an official book by Disney.
Yeah, it just wasn't part of this whole ongoing series. They started with the Journey to the Force Awakens books.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first they announced. So.
And you get to see the Vader Force choke.
Infamous Force choke.
That's led to many memes.
Yeah.
Finds his lack of faith disturbing.
I find his lack of faith disturbing.
You see there, Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin just tells him, enough, Vader, and he just, like, you don't see that very often where
No,
Vader
like-
concedes to,
No, and that's why it's so interesting to read about their history and his backstory, because there's probably only 2 people in the entire galaxy that can tell Vader what to do, and the other one is an all-powerful Sith Lord.
Yeah.
So for a regular person to be able to do that, like, that's saying something big time.
oh no, that part with the same
He's
crawler.
not your droid.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
Our first look at
These
the
aren't the
Jedi
droids I'm
mind
looking
trick.
for.
Did they add that little thing in the back?
Yeah, that's a new droid they added. You see him earlier in the movie when they first
so
ride
obvious.
into Mos Eisley.
It's so obvious.
There's like a big dude that hits him.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
the
then
big,
the other
creature,
big droid. Yeah.
Yeah, they have it right there too.
It's pretty obvious because it looks
looks
so
so out of
much
place.
newer than everything else. Yeah.
I think the pod, is that a pod racer too, or what?
I think it's supposed to be like an old set of pod racer engines.
Okay.
I'm not for sure, but it looks like that to me.
Oh, I wish I would have noticed that. It looks out of place.
Now we
Well, some of the additions were awesome, but
Yeah, there was-
others were just like, why?
There was some stuff that was good. Like I liked that they enhanced all the explosions
Yeah.
because
So-
a lot of the explosions looked horrible.
So, question here. First off, I think I mentioned in episode 2 how similar this scene was to the one in episode 2 when they're at the
In the
bar.
bar.
And
Yes.
Obi-Wan
definitely some
saves
parallels.
Luke. Obi-Wan saves Anakin.
Yes.
But
He's the Guardian.
he really is.
Yes.
But why? This is something I've always
wields a
wondered.
rubber-raising stick.
Why was his arm bleeding when he chopped it off versus like everyone else?
He
It
must have a
typically-
weak lightsaber. I mean, he hasn't really used it in years, so the battery on it's probably dying.
It could be part of it,
Okay.
or I don't know. I don't know a lot about that
Or is it just
specific species, but it could have like just crazy blood that just like doesn't coagulate very easy. Like it's just super
Yeah.
runny.
or it could be the 70s and they didn't really think about
They didn't think about that detail.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's a hole that he left.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because this is like Luke's first experience seeing a lightsaber used.
He's just, you see his
Yeah.
face. He's awestruck.
See
It's like,
that?
oh my goodness.
It's just like, what did he just do?
But then you go forward into what are now the legend, the Jedi Order, their way of dealing with disputes and stuff when they were out was just to cut the guy's arm off, to disarm him,
Yeah.
make it calm, which there was a whole like argument about. But I think that probably came from him seeing like Obi-Wan just nonchalantly hack a dude's arm off in the bar.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, that must be how they deal with stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it though, he could have just been diffusing what might have been a way bigger situation other people getting involved and just starting the whole bar fight. This way, people are like, oh, he's got a laser sword. We're gonna leave him alone.
He doesn't
We're not
want
messing with that guy.
He doesn't want a lot of attention drawn to him and Luke, I feel, because
He wants to
he knows
diffuse
Luke
it.
how important Luke is.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows that.
Well, a
Anakin
good way to
was-
draw attention to yourself is to pull out a lightsaber in the middle of a bar.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess he didn't.
But getting in
want
a bar fight could be worse.
Yeah, that's true.
You get
Not very many people
stormtroopers
pull out
called
lights.
into the cantina because it's erupted in a bar fight.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everyone didn't really seem to be all that phased by the lightsaber arm chopping off. I mean,
Well,
they
you
kind of
see the-
looked at it and then they just turned and kept doing what they were doing. Like,
Well, you see the one person just like smoking the hookah.
Yeah.
and just goes
he
back.
looks, but then just goes right back to smoking. Like, whatever.
Well, they're also in Mos Eisley, and that kind
Yeah, I
of
was
stuff
about to
happens
say that.
constantly, and they're just kind of.
Yeah, people probably get shot in there and all kinds of other stuff.
Probably everybody in
Greedo.
there has
Yeah.
shot somebody before.
Like Greedo, we see later. But now we get to meet everyone's favorite scoundrel,
Are they gonna
Han
recreate
Solo.
the cantina at Star Wars Land, Disneyland?
Oh, I'm sure.
They
Like,
have to.
That's
They
one
do
of the
it
more
at
iconic
Comic-Con.
places. Yeah, they did at
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
Well, it's Comic-Con Phoenix, so it's the small one. And they still put it
They
together.
did it. Yeah, they actually didn't have the cantina, surprisingly, at SLC.
Really?
No, but I mean, they had the whole, like, Palpatine throne room and the garbage chute and like a droid area with a speeder. They had a bunch of other stuff,
Okay.
but not the cantina. Not even Han and Carbonite.
Yeah.
That's a shock. That's like the most popular thing you can picture in front of.
Us.
Life for that was like 20 feet long.
Negotiations here.
Such a smirk on his face.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
He's
great seeing his,
so
how
good.
Solo evolves, because he does humble himself a little bit throughout the trilogy. When you see, like, even in the new trailer
He's
for The Force
definitely
Awakens,
changed.
he's like, it's all true,
Yes.
and it's, you know,
Which is something I was.
I love the memes for that too.
yeah.
Yeah, that scene.
It's all true. Even the Star Wars Christmas special?
I don't remember the.
Get out.
Get out.
Yes. Yes.
All the memes for that.
Here
are
we get to see
fantastic.
the Falcon in action
Like
the first time. Yes. Light speed.
Unlike,
Light speed ain't like dusting crops, boy.
yeah. And then Luke's just pointing at everything. It's like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah. Go away, kid. You don't know what you're talking about. So awesome. That effect is still like one of the
Star
coolest
Tours,
things.
the new Star Tours, have you been on it with
Yes.
They
going the light
changed
speed?
it.
Yeah,
It's
the
not
shaking.
just the white lights.
No, it's
They made it
much
like
better.
a blue warp
Yeah, it actually feels like you're,
You're going somewhere.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I could
It's
put that
awesome.
ride in my house
Yes. Oh, I would.
over anything, like any kind of game console, like I would just,
Oh, for sure.
that would be like my go-to.
It's fantastic.
I was the spy, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
You were the spy.
Brayden was the spy. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
The first time. The second time I was hiding in the back.
He didn't want to be the spy again. Yeah, the first time we had, what was it? What planets did we have? I can't even remember. The second time we had Tatooine, the pod racing, and then we had the asteroid field with, was it Boba Fett?
Oh yeah.
The first time was hot.
Oh, and then Coruscant, Battle over Coruscant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just what we were referencing earlier.
Still can't believe the books on audio. The idiots they have read them. Coruscant,
Yep.
Palpatine.
They can't pronounce things for crap.
What did she say? It's on Dantooine?
Yeah, Dantooine. Yep.
Home to the old Jedi Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog people.
And the dog people.
Yes.
The dog people?
Yeah, they look, the species there looks very much canine. just straight up lies.
He gets
Luckily,
his.
she was also lying, so it didn't really matter.
They still destroyed her home planet.
Yeah.
What she assumed was her home planet.
Little does she know is Polis Massa.
No, her home planet's like a space station.
Yeah, isn't it Polis Massa? I think.
Where she was.
I want to say it's I don't know. I could just completely be blowing smoke here.
I don't remember the name of the space station.
I just know it's a map on Star Wars Battlefront too.
Ah, yes.
Let's see.
Suggest a new strategy.
Yeah, it's Polis Massa.
Let the Wookiee win.
It's an asteroid with a. Yeah, the Skywalker twins were born there, and their names were given before Padme Amidala died.
Yes. Yeah, this.
God of a broken
His
heart.
lightsaber changed color.
Yes.
It's now
I
a
noticed
faint
that.
teal.
It's the lighting. There's a lot better lighting in the Falcon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is the part that you were talking about where he used to just complete disbelief when it came to the Force.
Yeah.
In contrast to the new trailer where it's all true. All of it. Very different stories he's telling.
There's no mystical
Harrison
energy field.
Ford looks completely different nowadays too.
He does.
I know he's aged, but
His face looks different.
it like made his face change shape.
So it happens when you get old
Mm.
or more wise in the Force, however.
It's all that extra knowledge he started taking in, you know?
Yeah, gotcha, that's it.
It's the wisdom. Oh,
I think it was
Those
mainly
lashes are
just,
bright.
I think it was just the time that he almost died in the
Dang.
Temple of Doom.
yeah, that would take a toll on
That really sucked the life out of him.
Oh, would you say the Temple?
nearly having your heart
When he
ripped out.
almost died in the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
That's what really aged him.
Problem.
What about all the other temples he's ran through?
No, I was gonna say what aged him was probably.
Nearly getting smashed by a boulder.
I was gonna say having to participate or be in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
would be anyone great.
having Laboof as a kid,
Working
even
with
for
Laboof.
even just on screen, would be enough for anyone to go crazy. I mean, it's Laboof.
Didn't they use for the Death Star? Didn't they use like especially on the last scene where they're in the
Trenches?
canyon? Didn't they use a parking lot for that? I think.
Yeah,
Or
where
they used. I remember seeing the
the
behind the
camera would
scenes.
go.
Yeah.
And they used they just made a giant full-scale model.
Yeah.
of the trench. And she used models and like firecrackers as the explosions.
You could totally tell they're firecrackers.
Oh, yeah.
Now I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But-
could.
We're
It's all
not
been changed
there yet,
now,
but that whole last 30 minutes of the movie has the best special effects in the entire movie.
It's insane.
It's really good. Like these little things here and there, like the firecrackers, you can tell are super dated and not that great. But some of it, and you know, maybe some of it is the whole digital remastering. Maybe there's touching up that made it look really good. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they did change some of the explosions.
Well, even
and
if you go
stuff,
back and watch it,
but even the original cut.
still is great.
I'm sure.
Especially, yeah, it was like, if you go back and look at movies up to this point, no one had done anything like that, like on this scale before. Freaking.
Well, I was watching a thing on, I don't know if it was on Star Wars or George Lucas, but they were talking about how when they made this movie, he wanted so many things that had never been done before that they had to figure out how to do them.
Oh, that's why they created the entire special effects studio.
Yeah.
Because no one else could do what they wanted.
Well, and like I said, he had episode 1, 2, and 3 already planned out, and I remember seeing. I think it was in the re-release, the VHS, in like '97 or '98. Like how he had plans, but he wanted technology to catch up to what
Yeah,
he
for the
had.
stuff he wanted to do.
He had this giant landscape of things.
Yeah, see that is definitely a new explosion.
Sure.
It looks a little
And
bit
you
more.
can tell it looks
The droid is new too.
way better now.
Oh, the training.
Yeah.
Yeah, the training.
Oh, it
for
is.
The way it moves is
It's
a
a
lot
little more
more fluid now
Yeah.
than it was previously.
Do you guys have the Star Wars app? You can actually do it on your phone. You can do the training with that.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Uh-huh. Good old Han. I just want the money. Screw the princess. I'm not gonna die.
Little does he know.
She's rich.
She will be
And
future
powerful.
wife and to have his children.
We think.
Although I guess we don't know.
We don't know if
Technically,
Rey
if
is-
they have children or how many they have anymore. That's all legend.
I think everyone's speculating just because Rey looks so much like.
Rey looks a bit, like a young Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Well,
got
we
some
do know that they end up
similarities.
together because she's all over him in that one scene where he's.
She's hugging him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which I think Sam had mentioned that their relationship is not too good nowadays.
Yeah, that's another thing that people are speculating. I still don't fully buy into it personally, but there's just really nothing to go off at this point.
What it
It's
could be
all
is
just-
nobody wanted to be around Carrie Fisher.
Could be, or it
She
could
was
be
crazy.
that. I mean, we see how many
She aged the
scenes
worst.
in the trailers.
That's what
Like,
happens when you do drugs.
Yeah. And she did some heavy drugs, right?
Oh, yeah.
oh yes, for quite a while.
Smoked about 10 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yeah, you can see like.
Her voice, man.
Oh yeah.
Killed her voice.
Hopefully she doesn't have too much dialogue in this next film.
Yeah,
No, but
I-
hey, she might have more than Luke.
Look,
Or
it's
what?
the black C-3PO.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was a black. It was a black
Did they add
protocol
that?
droid.
No, it's been in there
They
for
had to. Oh wow!
Yeah, no, it was there before.
I never noticed that.
It's got a weird shaped head and everything.
Yeah, there it
Oh,
is.
it's definitely.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't have the same C-3PO head. This is classic.
Oh, I love this.
it's-
dialogue.
it is really good.
Dialogue here is just so good. Everything's fine here. Slight weapons malfunction. How are you?
We're sitting.
How are you doing? No.
Actually here.
Very, very dangerous.
What's your operating number?
He's just like, oh,
Why would you shoot it though?
because you're Han Solo. That's why.
Because you're a VA.
He
Yeah.
just looks so awkward in the suit.
Oh yeah, Luke doesn't know how to walk in stormtrooper armor.
You know that he totally reminded me of Archer just there.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Oh, Han
how
Solo.
Archer would
Oh,
handle
yeah.
that situation.
Oh yeah, big time.
Try to talk his way through it.
And then be like, oh,
And then just shoot it.
Yeah.
You're a little
This-
short for a stormtrooper.
This is not working.
What does that mean? Like, how are you too short to be a stormtrooper? They're
I
not
don't-
clones
They're
anymore.
not clones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just take anybody.
The Empire, doesn't have a height requirement. I mean, you gotta pass the physical, but
I've always wondered
it
why
doesn't
she
have to
said
do
that.
with your
I
height.
can imagine an Ewok being turned down for it, and then not exactly built for
Yeah.
combat.
It's just a short joke, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
a
then-
trash compactor. This gave you. This
Yeah,
had me on the
this-
edge of my seat when I was young.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, what's gonna
A
happen?
freaking
bro?
monster, man.
It's
I-
crazy if you've seen what the monster actually looks like. Too.
Yes.
This part drove me nuts today. I didn't remember it very well. But their reaction to when Luke disappears, right here in a minute, they barely move. They just kind of wait. It's like you'd either be trying to help him or at least freaking out. You know, you'd be afraid for him or something. But watch, they just kind of go still. He's sloshing some water around.
And then, where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Chewie's not concerned.
He just
She's
wants
like,
out.
I just want out.
You never noticed that?
She's pretty freaked out. Like,
And then they hear it.
they hear the noise,
Trash compactor.
and they're like, oh,
Engages.
yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. Just let go of me. And
Yeah,
just-
'cause
Just
it
decided to go for a
It heard
swim.
the freaking trash compactor coming. Monster ain't down.
Yep, it pieced out.
It knows.
That thing's massive.
Oh yeah, if you see it in the classic 64 Shadows of the Empire game. It's not some tiny little head. That thing is
No.
massive.
That's like one eyeball. This thing is huge.
It's like a freaking I don't know how that water goes so deep in there, but it's got to be deep for that thing to be in there.
Yeah.
There's some deep water somewhere. 'Cause that's like giant squid size beast. Like it's huge.
So this part
You can tell
here.
it's foam too.
Oh yeah,
In the
especially
middle.
once it starts to bend, and it's just like, yeah, metal doesn't bend like that.
Well, not like he shoved it on one piece and it just like formed around.
Forms it, yes.
Oh.
It hadn't even started crushing.
It's his head.
Classic.
No, but the trash compactor scene is yet another time where R2D2 saves everyone's
Oh
butt.
yeah, happens many times. Droid is.
I'm pretty sure if it
is
weren't
the
for R2,
shiz.
their ship and the Phantom Menace would have got destroyed by the blockade.
This is another Archer-like moment right here.
Oh,
He chases us down, and he's like, "Holy crap! The room is full of stormtroopers. Run!"
Did you see how much recoil that stormtrooper had?
Well, he shot him from like 3 feet away.
Yeah, just point blank to the
Right
chest.
to the chest.
Boom.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, another pretty iconic scene from this movie. The swing
so many
across the
iconic-
chasm.
Hang on.
They filmed
Which-
this in one take too.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm impressed actually.
And they recreated it on Mythbusters, and it is possible. So,
to do the swing across.
yeah, to swing across.
With that-
The only thing that they said was, of course, like ridiculously lucky was throwing it and getting it to hook on the first
Yeah,
try.
yeah.
But assuming it hooks, it's got the tensile strength and the way that it swings, like the angle at which it swings would get you across. They recreated the chasm area, like the levels and stuff.
Okay.
Made it as close to this as they possibly could. And it worked. They were able to swing across, carrying like their giant dummy that they love to torture on that show. Yes,
It's a shame this is the last season.
I know. There's always some good stuff. Although I'd say that after seeing their second Star Wars Mythbuster episode, they were on a decline this last season.
Yeah.
Because that was, compared to their first Star Wars episode, the second one was
They busted,
abysmal compared to the first.
they busted everything and were testing things that no human obviously could do. Like it had to have the Force.
Yes, it was obviously Force assisted. Well, and also just not meant to be done by like 50-year-old out of shape dudes.
Yeah, that too.
Like,
Does gripping your gun make you shoot more accurate? Like gripping it as hard as you can? Because they're all just like.
not necessarily. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
I think it's more panic right there. He's just like, oh crap, they're after us.
And, yep.
They meet again.
For the last time.
How they made the lightsabers originally were awesome. It was an awesome idea.
Oh yeah.
They look so good. I love the look of those lightsabers.
Those are so much cooler, I think.
If every lightsaber, and it's a totally different discussion, if every lightsaber looks like that goofy crossguard lightsaber, I'm gonna be so bummed.
Now they look more like.
Yeah. Well, we do see another lightsaber at the end of the trailer when
Does it look more like the classic?
Yeah.
Finn lights his blue one up, and it looks like it's.
Which is Anakin's.
It's yeah.
Which looks like or
it's the
Luke's.
classic.
Yeah, both theirs, I guess.
Like,
That's
well,
the
I mean,
same
it doesn't
one.
look like this. It looks like the lightsabers do now.
The one that Finn has supposedly is the same one that Luke got.
It doesn't
That
have
he
the
lost
like
in Cloud
weird,
City.
crazy, like intense glow that Kylo Ren's has.
Like electric sounding and
It's no. His is different. I think his is
It's more
unique to him though.
It's not very
I think.
refined, this saber.
No, which I'm guessing has to do with how he
different manufacturing
mined
process.
the crystal for it.
Didn't bother cutting it at all. He just put a rock right first movie.
I think he did, yeah.
You can totally see like the lightsaber right there. That it's like you see the rod.
Yeah.
Because they're all like just these.
Well, it's just like a pole with tinfoil wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they did it was just
It was
crazy.
really clever.
It still looks so good.
It looks.
yeah.
I think it's great.
And like, who else would have thought of this?
I
It was a
yeah.
very obscure weapon to think of.
Uh,
What happens if I put a light on the end of a sword?
It's my absolute favorite weapon.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't think you could
I think it's
have me
everybody's-
choose something over a lightsaber to have as my weapon of choice. Like I just.
Another classic cocky Han moment. His dialogue's just fantastic.
One of the best line is when she says "I love you," and he's like, "Yeah, I know."
Not this ship's
They're not tracking this. You think that was easy? She's so pretentious.
Yeah.
I expect to be well paid.
So there we go.
Yep.
You get paid by marrying her.
I just want the money.
It's all
Which
about
is-
the bling.
Understandable, since he has a very large bounty on his head and many bounty hunters.
Little
Hot
does he
on
know
his
he
tail.
doesn't even have to pay that anymore.
Well, I was gonna say it's
Yeah,
more
it's
like
also-
he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know that at this point. But now.
He has to get blinded for it first, but I mean, that's a small price to pay.
So this is what Obi-Wan stole,
The plans.
right?
Death
During
Star
their
plans.
escapade.
No, this is what
Or no, this is what.
This is
Leia had stolen in the first place, which is why they were chasing her down.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We'll get to see how it
Obi-Wan
was stolen
just was shutting down their tractor
later.
beam.
Yeah, so that they could get away.
For them having all this futuristic technology, that screen looks like an Atari game.
Yeah.
Like, look at that, that is Atari right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're a ragtag
You get the
military
point.
group. They don't have the most advanced technology available.
I'm not saying I don't like it, I'm just like, it's very much Atari. The pixels are huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not
Size of a fist.
not a detailed readout.
You get the point.
But I mean, it's not that complicated. Fly down this trench, shoot it in the hole, it will explode. The end.
Yeah.
What planet is that? Is it Tatooine? Or no? The one that
That's-
just showed.
That's near the moon, Yavin 4, but the giant planet. I'm not sure what that is.
I've always wondered. Isn't
I'm sure you could find out.
Is
what it is.
Mustafar? No, that's never mind. That's different.
Yeah, that's different. Different section of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Mustafar.
Good old X-Wings and A-Wings.
Oh,
I
yes.
love the A-Wings. It's my favorite.
Right,
No, the
alive.
B-Wing is my favorite. B-Wing is just.
B-Wing's pretty cool.
Why do they call it B-Wing? It does not look.
It kind of looks like it.
The only
Up
three
in
that
the-
really look like what they're called are
X.
the X-Wing,
The Y-Wing.
the Y-Wing, and the A-Wing.
Yeah. And there's what, the B-Wing, there's the B-Wing, which ended up turning into the TIE Fighter, right? That was like the old, I think, was it called B-Wing, honestly?
I don't know, my favorite ship
It's possible.
that's
I don't
not
know.
a unique ship is definitely the X-Wing.
Yeah. X-wings are pretty sweet.
It's just so iconic
I think my favorite is
for Star
the,
Wars.
And this part. Oh, so sweet.
See, that's gorgeous, but that has to be updated,
Oh, it is.
right?
Yeah, it is.
The original still wasn't that bad though.
I'm sure it was.
But yeah, they
They
definitely
definitely
enhanced
twisted
all
things
that.
up, but it didn't look that bad originally.
No. But yeah, that scene though, when it just shows like all the ships flying in, so awesome.
No, my
I want a Rogue
favorite-
Squadron game so badly.
Yes. Oh, so bad. Yeah, at least we'll get some. I'm sure we'll get some Rogue Squadron action in the Rogue One movie. There's gotta be some X-wing flying in that.
But there's definitely some X-Wing flying in The Force Awakens.
There is.
Oh yeah.
You see quite a bit of it too.
Maybe even some stealth X's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out.
Except for Stealth X's, don't they use the Force for those? So they have to have Jedi flying them?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Because
I
they
thought
just
they
launch
did.
their missiles by a puff of air, and then the Jedi grabs them with the Force and directs it to where it's supposed to go.
Huh.
Which is
Okay.
why it's stealth.
Gotcha.
Oh, the crazy trench warfare.
Yeah. Yeah, that part was, I think that was like a parking lot.
The firecrackers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder. It doesn't look as much like it now as when you see the original cut, because it's nothing but just the little explosions.
Yeah.
They enhanced it a bit now so that it doesn't
So it looks actually.
look like it quite as much. Yeah, it was just
It
such
wasn't bad for the
inventive
time.
ideas. Yeah.
And then this chase scene.
Oh,
It's fantastic.
Yeah, this,
I have you now.
look, you switched off your targeting computer. Is everything all right?
Force.
Use the Force, Harry.
Your Jedi, Harry.
Dumbly.
Darth Vader's ship, though. Not gonna lie. It's probably my favorite Imperial
TIE
ship.
Interceptor. Modified.
What is it? Is it a TIE Interceptor? He's the only one that has it.
Yeah, his is unique.
Because there's what? There's TIE Interceptor, TIE Fighter, TIE Bomber, and there's a couple other ones I can't think of.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan? What?
This is really specific.
He has to think he's going crazy for a second.
Like,
Right?
why am I hearing voices?
Why is Obi-Wan talking to me? He has to
And-
get cut
But he
down.
never questions it.
No.
He just gets like a quizzical look on his face.
Oh, I guess
and
that's
then,
normal
and then he
for
just
Jedi.
listens to it.
And I wonder what they're thinking.
Right. They should be
crap.
freaking out on him.
Like, why did you do
But
that?
they're also calm though. They're like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
Oh, okay.
If you say so.
I would not have been that calm.
No!
Not R2.
He just had a hairdo.
He just took a headshot.
Yeah. Not the first time R2's been damaged.
Which planet is it?
Won't be the
Is it
last.
Yavin 4 or what?
I think the Yavin 4 is the moon that their base was actually on. But I can't remember what the main planet is. I know there's a name because they mention it in Lost Stars when they're going over this whole sequence. But now I don't recall what it is.
I have you now.
What happened? Yes! On to save the day.
How nauseating would that be?
Yeah.
They're just spinning. out
Spinning
of
more than you
control.
are in episode 3 when they're battle over Coruscant.
Good old Han shows his true colors. It really wasn't all about the money.
You can be a hero too.
Just the massive Death Star explosion.
Such a beautiful
Firecrackers.
firework.
So many dead Imperials.
I know. That's what they get.
Which is another thing they reference in the Lost Stars books.
No. And at this time, in that explosion, it almost looks like there's nothing left of the
Oh
Death
no,
Star.
no. There's not.
And he just, I guess, decided later he was
It's
going to bring it back
annihilated.
in.
It's annihilated.
So,
It's just a different Death Star.
Well,
Okay,
I
so
think
they-
that they have somewhere where they're building them, like manufacturing them constantly.
Oh, they had plans to
There's
make
multiple Death Stars being built.
Yeah.
And so the reason why the next one is
Okay.
built so fast is because it was already partially done at this point. They didn't like start from scratch and get one that finished already.
so I always
Yeah.
assumed that was, it had a huge chunk out of it because that was the one that was blown up, but just not
No.
blown up all the way.
No, it's definitely
that one
a
was
different one.
completely obliterated.
No, I remember reading there's a planet where they have their manufacturing of, and it's not known to, I think, any of the Alliance actually.
No.
Obviously, but
Yeah, they have a big manufacturing area.
And I assume you guys have seen the video where they take out the soundtrack here.
Yes.
And it's dead silent
It's
the
so
whole
funny.
time.
Yeah, there's no
Showing
other.
how awkward
Yeah,
it would be.
It's so great.
There's no other noise here.
Other than Chewbacca's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just the most awkward.
They add like footstep
Yeah.
sound effects.
Yeah,
and
'cause they were
people
way
clearing
quiet.
their throat.
Yeah.
'Cause it was just dead silent.
See, Carrie Fisher, she's
Pretty
so
awesome.
beautiful here.
It's before she did the cocaine.
And then she had to do cocaine.
Oh, I'm sure it was already happening. The effects just didn't show. It takes a while for that to manifest
I don't
itself.
know. Before this movie, she hadn't really done much. So
It's probably after this one. Probably
she made a crap load of money off Star Wars. It's like, let's start shooting up.
Well, I know she did some stuff to get skinny for this movie. I wouldn't put it past her for it to just have been drugs. Cocaine and meth will help you lose weight real fast.
Yeah, Sensei, that's a good way.
She was already
Crush
crazy.
and Chrome.
Yes.
You can go to Valhalla.
They can enter Valhalla. Witness.
Witness.
Witness us blood bags.
A lot of blood.
They all got a
bags.
medal.
Yes.
Hard.
Oh, except Chewie. Where was Chewie's medal?
She didn't
See,
get a medal?
and he deserved one the most. His race was used to build those Death Stars.
Yes, the
Slaves.
Wookiee slaves.
Were they?
Yes.
Is that why? Oh.
Well, I mean, it's legend now, but the old story was that Han saved him from a slave encampment.
What's accepted as canon, or what is?
Anything that's
currently-
made after Disney bought it and
Yeah.
the movies, like the
Okay.
TV shows.
Yeah, so they brought Clone Wars into the TV show, saying that was canon, even though
Because I've heard
was
that story before. but I
pre-Disney
didn't- Okay.
purchase. But yeah, there's not much.
So now
There's-
Disney is completely. I guess that's what canon really denotes. It's that.
There's the books that came out pretty much just this year. Books that have come out this year, comics, the TV shows, and then the movies. And everything else is all legend now.
My favorite series of all in the Star Wars universe
Oh,
is Legend.
There's so many good series that are now legend.
Defunct.
So many. Fate of the Jedi.
That's by far the best
Fantastic.
series written.
So many good EU stuff that happens after episode 6 that's now
Thrawn
just
trilogy.
legend. Oh
The
yes.
Thrawn
Thrawn trilogy.
Thrawn trilogy is fantastic.
I love the Thrawn
And that's
trilogy.
now just
Legacy.
legend.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's obsolete now with the whole episode 7, 8, and 9. They're.
Yeah, it's all different.
I remember reading one of those.
Different.
Although the Old Republic books, I believe, are still canon since they play along into the game, which is
Which is canon.
canon.
Yeah, anything that goes along with the game storylines.
How do you know for
canon
sure if it's
still.
canon?
You can look it up.
They have a website.
They have
They have
it,
it.
and it's on Wikipedia too.
Yeah.
Oh, Wikipedia.
They have a page dedicated to what's canon on Wikipedia now.
Alright.
But there's really not a very long list.
Yeah.
It's pretty short.
Anything published this year and very few other things.
Yeah.
They'll probably be adding more. I'm
Oh
assuming
yeah. There's
quite a
still
bit
lots
more.
of books releasing
Yeah.
this
Awesome.
year. So yeah, that covers A New Hope.
Next time will be. Well,
Next time we do Force Awakens,
Yeah,
Journey
it's-
will be episode 5, but I believe that's in 2 weeks.
hopefully we have everyone back together.
Our next episode will be something new that we're trying, entitled Geek Fights, where we have various arguments about different things in nerddom. It should be interesting.
Looking forward to it.
We'll see how the first episode goes. I'm excited.
I am too.
Definitely. And Tyler, we've enjoyed having you.
Yes.
Always
Join
welcome
us
to
again.
join us. So.
Thank you. I felt welcome.
Well, if you join us next time, we'll have an even number. No, we will. We'll have an even number of people.
It's true.
I guess we have an even number now, but
Yes. I think that about wraps it up for this time. So we will catch you guys for the next episode. Until then, be sure to subscribe and comment. We appreciate any and all feedback. We will catch you all later.
Later.
See ya.